Trump just deported a man protected by law. So either the Constitution is just a coaster at Mar-a-Lago, or this country's being run like a Judge Judy spinoff hosted by Steve Bannon. Welcome to The Logical Report, the podcast where justice wears boxing gloves and the comedy slaps fascists in the face. Tonight's story is about Kilmar Abrego Garcia. I hope I'm saying that right, out of respect for the man. A man legally protected from deportation until he wasn't. He came here 10 years ago, played by the rules, got court-ordered protection under international and U.S. law, and Trump's administration still deported him. This is not just about immigration. This is a test run, a political warning shot, and in the end, a brutal reminder that no one is safe, not even white folks in khakis clutching the Constitution like it's a yoga mat. Let's get into it. Kilmer came to the U.S. from El Salvador a decade ago. He wasn't undocumented. He wasn't illegally crossing. He went to immigration court. A judge looked at his case, looked at the facts, and said, this man cannot be deported. If we send him back, he'll be tortured or killed. That ruling falls under the UN Convention Against Torture, which the U.S. signed. In other words, Kilmer was protected. Full stop. So, of course, Trump deported him anyway. Why? Because Kilmer's name doesn't sound like Chet, and he doesn't own Vineyard Vines polos. ICE agents saw his name and said, that's too many vowels, he's out. The U.S. government said, you're protected, and then hit him with a reverse Uno card. The only thing Kilmer is guilty of is believing America honors its own laws. Trump treats asylum cases like Yelp reviews. 1 star, do not return. This man followed every rule. Meanwhile, Trump eats classified documents like Skittles. Kilmer got legal protection. Trump got indicted. Guess who's still in the country? If the law means nothing, let's all go jaywalking at Mar-a-Lago. The judge said no is now just a helpful suggestion, like flossing. Trump's slogan should be deportation's arbitrary again. The only threat Kilmer posed was to Pamela Bondi's Botox timeline. Let's talk about Pam Bondi for a second. Pam, whose moral compass is drawn entirely in crayon, claimed Kilmer was a gangbanger. No proof, no evidence, not even a third-hand Instagram post. Just her whispering MS-13 like Beetlejuice and hoping ICE will appear. This is what they do. Throw around gang member like seasoning. It doesn't have to be true. It just has to be scary. And that lie became justification for breaking international law. Pam Bondi claimed Kilmer was in a gang and then cited a vibe she had. He wasn't in a gang, but if believing in democracy is now gang activity, sign me up for the Crips and the Constitution. ICE's new policy is guilt by melanin. Kilmer's only gang affiliation is with people who file taxes early. Bondi once said he acted suspicious. Lady, that's just what calm Latinos look like in Florida, humidity. If he wore khakis and a Reagan pin, they'd have given him a cabinet job. Gang is just the Trump's admin's way of saying person of color with a spine. She said gangbanger the way Marjorie Taylor Greene says Antifa. Their evidence was literally, we just had a feeling. It feels counted. If feelings counted, I'd deport Ted Cruz every time I got gas. And then the president of El Salvador joined the dog pile. He's a terrorist, the man says, which is convenient since Kilmer was literally fleeing violence in El Salvador. It's like your abusive ex saying she's crazy while holding a knife and your Netflix password. They're laundering political violence through international gaslighting, and Trump loved it. Kilmer had protection from the U.S. Immigration Court. He was untouchable until he wasn't. Because under Trump, laws are just suggestions unless you're rich, white, or Trump himself. ICE is now like DoorDash for authoritarianism. Fast, unreliable, and always cold. They broke the law more casually than Kardashian runs a stop sign. Trump doesn't read intelligence briefings, but he's real good at ignoring court orders. The only law Trump cares about is Newton's. What goes around comes back for revenge. Trump deported a man protected by law while hiring Steve Bannon, who's protected by Hades. Ask yourself, if they can do this to a man protected by court order, what can they do to you? All it takes now is just being labeled a problem. A protester, a journalist, an inconvenient citizen. You can obey the law and still get erased. This is not a slippery slope. It's a damn trapdoor. Now let's address our white listeners. You might be thinking, but I'm white, I'm safe. Ask Michael Cohen, Trump's lawyer. Ask Cassidy Hutchinson, his former aide. Ask the Capitol rioters currently serving time while Trump yells witch hunt. You think loyalty will save you? Trump loyalty is like a Blockbuster card, useless and expired the moment you need it. White folks, you're not safe. You're just next in line. Trump will sell your family to Elon Musk for a retweet. Being white under Trump is like being in the front row of a firing squad. Convenient, not safe. Your complexion gets you a delay, not a pardon. If you're not useful to him, you're disposable. And if you are useful, even more so. Kilmore wasn't deported by accident. This was intentional. A test to see if they could override a judge, to see if the media would blink, to see if the public would shrug. And it worked. So now they'll try again with someone louder, wider, and more like you. This wasn't about border security. This wasn't about gangs. This was about power. The power to erase people who don't serve the leader. The power to ignore laws, dodge courts, spin propaganda through official channels. Kilmore Abrego Garcia is gone and no one stopped it. If we let this stand, we are not a country. We are a brand under hostile management. That's it for the Logical Report. Like, share, and follow us before we get deported for making sense. And to the Trump regime, we saw what you did. We will not forget, and we will not let you erase the next Kilmer.